Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I told you I was going to give you a tour of my driveway and my yard when it got completed. And it's not 100% completed. I'm going to have to wait till next year because this is kind of expensive to do. But got a whole bunch done this year. So let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. So what you're looking at here is, any of you that have been with me for a while, you'll notice that last year I went ahead and put up a retaining wall and we made a little parking space here for 2 vehicles. There wasn't much room to the side. As you can see, my driveway has been widened significantly. All of this right here was not here before. So I had my driveway widened by about 8 feet and extended by about 100 feet. So let me go ahead and move back so you guys can get a good look and see how much wider it is. See, so it goes from there all the way to the end of that retaining wall. And as you can see, I still have to cut off the top of those 6x6s that I have cemented into the ground. So now we have a lot more room to turn and we can actually fit a lot more cars, especially in the winter when we have to manage the snow. And you'll see that this is it going down. And then I'm going to show you the ugly part here in a second. So the ugly part is this part right here. You see all of this? And there's my retaining wall. So what's going to happen next year is I'm going to go ahead. Sorry about the background noise, ladies and gentlemen. Those are trucks full of gravel going up the hill. Next year, I'm going to go ahead and build another retaining wall about 4 feet away from the house. And the top of the retaining wall is going to be level with the bottom of that retaining wall. And then my dirt mover is going to go ahead and grade this into that area, and he's going to level it out. So it's going to be level. So the top of the retaining wall that I put here all the way across the length of the house, or parallel with the house, is going to be as high as the bottom of this wall, so that we'll have a nice level area to do whatever we want to do in. And then the 4-foot space between the retaining wall and the house, I'm going to build a sidewalk there that would allow me to go straight back to the other side of the house, which is where I have my fuel tanks. That way in the wintertime, when I have to fill up my fuel tanks, it'll be easy for me to get back there. Now this right now works. As you can see, I have plastic on the floor, and what that does is that helps to keep the water outside from under my foundation, which it actually works very well. I have that plastic routed and leveled downward toward that side of the house, where it ends up going into a pipe, and the pipe goes back to the back of my property. So all that water is drained away. However, next year, when I get this redone, I'm going to actually do proper piping and everything like that under the ground. That way, it'll all be piped from the ground, and we won't have to count on that plastic driving the water away. Then from here, as you can see I still have some siding here that I have to remove. But from here, from where the retaining wall ends, right around here, I'm going to go ahead and build a concrete block wall all the way from the retaining wall, all the way across the house, and then coming over here to where I have this here. And then this whole area here is going to be covered in black rubber mulch. So it's actually going to look nice and clean and tidied up once everything is done. And as you can see here, I went ahead and built a small ramp going right into my house or onto my deck right from the driveway. And it works very, very nice. And let me show you what I did to make it slip resistant. What I did was I screwed a whole bunch of weatherproof screws. As you can see, that way, if it gets a little bit icy, it won't be slippery. And it's almost like the studs on a studded tire, if you want to think about it that way. Now this over here, what you see right here, that's next to the house as well, this is also all going to get covered in plastic. And that's something I forgot to mention. Under the rubber mulch where I showed you, there's going to be a couple, 2-3 layers of really thick plastic that's going to be under there. That way the water will be diverted this way, and it's going to go all the way down there. And where you see my tanks over there, that's where the plastic is going to end, and this is all going to be covered in black rubber mulch. So it'll tidy everything up and make it look pretty decent. Now here is where most of the work got done. So you can see here, last year, my driveway ended around here. Right around where these tanks were is where my driveway ended. So I went ahead and had my driveway extended all the way back beyond the trailer. If you remember, my trailer used to be parked right here. Now it's parked right there. And this is what my backyard looks like now. There's my little fuel tent. And there's some garbage I got to get rid of. But that's what it looks like right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my dirt mover come over for about the next 2 years and keep adding fill to the back so that I can extend my backyard at least another 50 to 70 feet back and keep it pretty level. And let me show you exactly how much how much fill. It's mostly gravel they had to put in here. Look at how tall that is. That's almost 4 feet. So next year I'm going to try to bring it up as much as I can and bring it back here all the way to the end of this pad. You can see that's my tent over there that I had to take out. That was over here somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and probably move this tent back to where it was. But I have another tent ordered. I have one of those, I call them Alaskan tents. It's a Shelter Logic, but it's the big green ones. And that's what this pad is for. He went ahead and built me this pad right here. And on this pad is where that tent is going to go. However, I had ordered some wood so that I can build a platform inside of the tent. So this weekend, that's probably what I'm going to be doing, is building a platform for the inside of the tent. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have enough funds to order enough wood to do the entire floor of the tent. So this year, I'm only going to do 10 by 12. And then next year, I'll probably finish the additional, what is it going to be, about 10 by 12 again. Because it's a 24-foot long tent, or it's a 25-foot long tent, but I'm going to have the tent go over the platform. So that's what the yard is looking like, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely happy with the progress that we were able to make this year. And right now, it's not 100% level, but what will happen is year after year, as he comes back, he'll give it he'll finish it up, keep leveling it off, and areas that settle down a little bit, he'll cover it up and pound it down and stuff like that. And eventually, I'm going to have my yard go all the way to where you see the back of that pad that he built me, all the way across behind that tent. And all of these trees right here, those 3 trees that you see there, they'll be going down. That tree, which is leaning a little bit away from my house, thankfully, that'll be going down along with a couple of those back there that are dead. And a cluster of these trees right here will be going down as well, but I'm definitely going to keep that spruce that's really big. There's just way too many trees in that area, and it's actually not good for the trees to be so crowded like that. So I'm going to get rid of the ones that look like they're dying, get them out of there, absolutely leave that big spruce up, and that's also going to give me more sunlight for my solar panels. My solar panels, I'm planning on putting them on the top of my roof. So right there on the second floor, where you see the, what do you call that, fascia? I think is what you call that. I'm going to pound them up against there, and I'm going to have all 8 of my solar panels up there. So that's what it's looking like, ladies and gentlemen. That was the little tour of the work that my dirt mover completed this summer. And next summer, we'll go at it again and see how far we can get. Now, let me show you how I'm going to go ahead and put these nozzles on the gas cans that I got. It was the nozzles that I showed you guys a few payday preps back. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I put them on. I'm only going to do it on one. That way, if any of you are interested in getting those to make your life a lot easier, you'll know exactly how easy it is and when you need to do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so these are the nasty nozzles that nobody likes. This is a great example of what regulations do when they're bad. I'm sure there's good regulations, but these are bad. Because I tried putting some gas in my truck yesterday with these nozzles, and it just didn't fit right. These nozzles are not for every vehicle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change them out with these, the ones that I showed you on my payday prep a while back. And these are pretty nice because they have a stainless steel screen. They come with 2 screw caps, and they also come with a screw cap on the top that's attached to it so that it doesn't get lost. They also come with a vent cover for which you're going to need to drill a 1/2-inch hole on your gas can. So let's go ahead and do that so that those of you that are thinking about getting these, because there was a lot of interest in these when I showed these off last, you guys will see how easy it is to do. You don't need any tools with the exception of a drill with a 1/2-inch bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so pretty much you're going to start off with an empty gas can. The reason that it took me so long to put these on since when I got them, because I've had them for a couple of months, is because I had not rotated last year's gas. So I wanted to make sure that I rotated the gas out first before I did any drilling with an electrical device, just in case fumes got out and stuff like that and it could get ugly, right? So these are all empty. I ended up using up all of my gas that I put back last winter. I used it all up between my truck and my wife's truck. And now I'm going to go ahead and fix them with the proper nozzle and a vent. That way I don't have to rely on those junk vents that I just showed you. Now, before I say that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a big proponent of not ending up in an 8x8 cell because I'm not following local laws or whatever regulations there may be in my area. So make sure that you check your area and make sure that doing this is okay for you guys to do and not get in trouble. Right? So we're going to go ahead and drill a hole. You just want to try to find a space that's flat, that's as high as you can get it on your gas can. At least that's what I look for. Every gas can is different, so you want to try to find a nice flat space where you can drill straight in. And as you can see, this one here's got a little hole that I put in there before. I had a screw in there. That used to be my vent. So we're going to take a 1/2-inch drill bit and we're going to drill straight in. Try not to drill at an angle, just drill straight in. As you can see, it left a little bit of shavings behind that are pretty hard to take out with your fingers. So I was wrong when I said that the only tool you were going to need was a drill and a drill bit. But I got my knife here and it should be able to come out easily. And if a little piece of this falls in there, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, it's no big deal. Because that does have that stainless steel screen and it will catch these pieces, especially a big piece like that. It'll catch that and it won't end up in your gas tank. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out of here now. And then we'll go to the next step, which is probably easier than drilling the hole. Now that we have our hole drilled out and it's fairly clean, well, we want to make sure that there's no little flares right there because that will block the vent from going in nice and smooth. So you can see we got our hole drilled there. And they all come with a small vent like this. And as you can see, the end of the vent that goes into the hole is a little bit flanged. So it's got a skinnier, let me see if I can focus. It's got a skinnier end on the bottom than it does on top. That way it goes in for a nice tight fit. What you want to do is you want to put it in nice and straight. And if you need to, because you don't have the hand strength or because it's a little hard, all you have to do is get a little hammer, which I have, and I might use it because I don't want to try to force this, and tap it in there. All right, so let me go ahead and grab my hammer so that I can tap that in there. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is my favorite hammer. This is the hammer that I built my house with. I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. This is like a 6-ounce hammer or something like that. It's one of those little cheapos that come with a cheap kit for inside your house, tool kit. I keep it in the back of my truck. That way, if I have to break up ice at the water station during the winter, I can break up ice. So now we just go ahead and put this in there. And before that you start tapping it in, you want to go ahead and close your vent. So close it. All right. And then you can tap it in. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how easy it is. Now, when you go to fill up your tank, what I normally do is I leave this vent on until I have the nozzle inside the tank, the gas tank. And then when it's safely inside the gas tank, I go ahead and flip this open. And then that allows your can to vent and your gas to flow out nice and easy. These things are really easy to put on. There you go, it's on. And what I like about these vents also is that if this builds up too much pressure, it will open the vent. That way you won't have any accidents if you have it stored in a location where it's hot. And to put the cap on, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing to it. It's just like any other cap or any other nozzle. Now these do come with 2 rings, which is kind of nice in case one ring goes bad, especially here in Alaska. If this ring cracks during the winter, I have another one that I can go to. And there you go. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That literally took about 2 minutes to do, if that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's it for today. I still have the rest of these cans to do, so I'm going to go ahead and do those, and then I'm going to go inside and have dinner, and then we'll talk to you guys later on. I have an awesome review coming up. I found a stove that you use indoors, that is safe to use indoors, that is awesome, extreme high quality, and wait till you see this thing, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely excited. When I came home today, the first thing I asked my wife was, did Amazon come today? And she said no. And I'm like, oh man, I'm still waiting for that thing. It was supposed to be here already. So when I get that, I'm going to go ahead and do a review of that, because I think a lot of you, especially those of you that live in small apartments and don't have a lot of space, those of you are going to be very interested in this. So I can't wait to get it. I ordered it about a week and a half ago and should be here soon. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a great day today. Happy Thursday. And tomorrow, thank God it's Friday. We'll talk to you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place. And you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I'm out.